What's up, everyone? Brent from BC Dubs here, bringing you folks hopefully another watchable video tonight. Sorry it's been a while since I posted, man. It's been really busy. First and foremost, I want to give my thoughts and prayers to the people that have suffered and are continuing to suffer from Hurricane Helene. I do live down here in Central Florida. I live about 35 miles directly east of Tampa Bay, and it was rough enough here. So I could only imagine how bad it was for the folks up in the Cedar Key, Deckle Beach, Horseshoe Beach, the Big Bend, Apalachicola Bay, Perry, Florida, Valdosta, Georgia, and places like that. So my thoughts and prayers are with you folks. I want to give thanks to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And before we go into this video, definitely need to do that because we're going to have a little bit of a rant on what's going on with my Auburn Tigers. That's right, folks. This is going to be a college football style video. If you like these type of videos, please consider leaving a thumbs up, smash that like button, and please consider subscribing to the channel. We are trying to grow this channel. We're up to 70 subscribers now. Slowly but surely, it is a grind, but we're trying to grow the channel, and with your folks' support, we can certainly do that. So let's talk about the elephant, or should I say tiger, in the room, and what the heck is going on with the Auburn Tigers? I mean, let's just really get into it, get into the weeds a little bit in this video, and let's just try to figure out what's going on. You know, this offseason, even though Auburn didn't go out into the portal to get a quarterback, and at the time, I bought into that because Hugh Freeze, you know, Auburn was always more, and he's right, we were always more than just a quarterback away. You know, the Brian Harsin era, and I don't want to make excuses for Hugh Freeze because that's not what I'm here to do, but it left us completely depleted in recruiting. I mean, Auburn was at the lowest numbers on national recruiting than I've ever seen in my lifetime. I mean, we were down around 38, 45, whatever it was, and he just was not recruiting at all, almost at all. The way Brian Harsin recruited was if you wanted to come to Auburn, you'd call him, I guess. I mean, he just wasn't big on recruiting, and it left us completely depleted. Hugh Freeze comes in last year, quickly turns the class around, ends up finishing, believe it or not, with I think it was a number 10 class. But, you know, they're all freshmen. Dotted the landscape with a few pieces, some plug-and-play pieces on the offensive line and on the defense with Eugene Asante and guys like that. Through the transfer portal, which Eugene Asante is one transfer that we have gotten that is true, that is just proven to be a great addition. Rivaldo Fairweather's another great addition. Some of the receivers that he had brought into the transfer portal last year have obviously transferred on. But then we turn into the 2024 year where, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I think his first year he finished in the 23rd ranked recruiting class or something. His first full recruiting class was ranked 9th or 10th in the country, depending on where you looked. So we come into the 2024 year with the number 9th or 10th ranked recruiting class, depending on where you looked. And I don't know if I bought into the hype. You know, fan is short for fanatic, but I'm sure I did. But the way the schedule had set up for Auburn, it just seemed like it was a doable schedule. I mean, it looked to me like coming into the Oklahoma game, which is tomorrow, by the way, that we were going to be 4-0 with a chance to start the season off 5-0 and have all this momentum going into the Georgia game, followed by our first bye week. And then the wheels have just fallen off. I mean, completely fallen off. We come out against Alabama A&M. Granted, it's an elementary school. I understand that. But the offense looked like it was firing on all cylinders, as most teams seem to do when you're playing an inferior opponent. But what do good teams do? They handle their business against an inferior opponent. I didn't see anything in that first game of the season that would lead me to believe that there was any weakness on the team. The defense, well, the defense looked a little suspect on third down, but the defense looked good. The offense looked like it was firing. We come into the Cal game, and I don't know. I don't know what that was. You know, 5 turnovers. I think it was 5 or 6 turnovers. I know it was 5. Might have been 6. I think it would have been 6 if they wouldn't have called that pass interference in the end zone in that Cal game, which clearly wasn't pass interference. I think the refs felt sorry for us there and tried to bail us out. But, you know, the not going after a transfer portal quarterback, you know, and sticking with Peyton Thorne at that point seemed to be of dire consequence. And I was like, oh my gosh, here we go. And, you know, we lose to Cal. Clearly the better team. I mean, clearly the better team. We lost to Cal by 1 score, and we had 5 turnovers. So clearly Auburn was the better team. We just kept giving Cal the damn ball. And it was so frustrating to watch. But I thought to myself, you know what? That's got to be an outlier. You have games like that. I mean, Georgia, if anybody will remember, Georgia lost to South Carolina, I think it was 4 years ago, and Georgia was ranked like 2nd or 3rd in the country. They go up to South Carolina, turn the ball over 4 times, lose the game. You're not going to win football games turning the ball over like that. So I thought to myself, well, that was an outlier. Surely that's not going to happen again. What are we going to do with the quarterback situation? And sure enough, we come out and we play, who was it? New Mexico State or New Mexico, something like that. And once again, and we start Hank Brown, redshirt freshman Hank Brown. He looks good. You know he's green, but he looks good. Auburn once again handles their business against an inferior opponent. And we take care of business against New Mexico. And we're going into Arkansas the very next week, last week. And I thought to myself, okay, well, it's Arkansas, you know, which there's history there. But surely Hugh Freeze will beat Arkansas. I mean, he just absolutely obliterated them last year with a bad football team. No doubt at home in Jordan-Hare, we can take down Arkansas. And there it was again. Turnover after turnover. You're watching Auburn move the ball up and down the field and just give it away. You watch, and you know, you watch the running back, I think it was Jamar Austin, going into the end zone, gets the ball punched out. Right there going into the end zone. You're like, golly. And every time Auburn was felt like they were fixing to take the momentum and take the game over, interception. Get the momentum, take the game over, fumble. Get the momentum, interception. Get the momentum, interception. I'm like, what the hell is going on? But still, even up to halftime, I'm like, you know what? It's a 1-score game. Auburn's got this. Come back out. Peyton Thorne's get the nod. Bam, 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 touchdown. I'm like, there we go, finally. Peyton Thorne's got it together. Cam Coleman goes out and, you know, a ball that he should catch. And I'm not knocking Cam Coleman. He's a kid. But I don't know. You know, this kid is one of the most highly touted receivers in the country. And this is twice now, 2 games in a row against Power 4 opponents where a ball has hit him in the hands, be it away from the body, but hit him in the hands. And this is why you bring this guy in here for strong hands. You don't bring him in, you don't bring a guy like Cam Coleman in that the ball's got to be right here or he can't catch it. You bring Cam Coleman in because he is your 50-50 ball guy. So, in my opinion, if he's your 50-50 ball guy and the ball hits him in his hands, whether it's out here or out here or here or down here, he's bringing that ball in. Well, 2 games in a row against Power 4 opponents, ball hits him in the hand, bounce off his hands, goes straight into a defender. It's some of the worst luck you've ever seen. It's like Auburn's got a black cloud over its head. So, obviously, we lose the Arkansas game, and you lose that game. It's so frustrating because Auburn had 4 or 5 turnovers in that game. I can't remember what the number was exactly. I want to say it was 5 turnovers in that game, and you lost by 10 points. So, once again, clearly, you were the better team. So, now you sit at 2-2, should certainly be 4-0. No other reason to lose those games, but you keep giving the ball to the other team. And it is just beyond frustrating to be at 2-2, knowing that you should have been at 4-0. And Auburn deserves to lose those games. There's no doubt about it. You play like that, you deserve to lose. You can't get off the field on 3rd down against Arkansas to save your life. You know, if it's 3rd and 6, Auburn's defense gets off the field. But you leave somebody in a 3rd and 10, 3rd and 13, 3rd and 16, 3rd and 19. Auburn just cannot get off the field. I don't know if it's what they're calling on defense. For example, in the Arkansas game, and let me know if there's any Auburn fans that are watching this if they saw the same thing. DJ Durkin was absolutely, and you could kind of tell in the game before the previous game against New Mexico, he only had 3 down linemen most of the time. I think he was trying to disguise what he was fixing to do against Arkansas, because in the Arkansas game, he comes out and it's full pressure, constant pressure. And Auburn's getting to the quarterback on first and second down. So it's like the game plan was put him in 3rd and long, make this guy beat us throwing the ball, but let's put him in an uncomfortable 3rd long down and distance situation, because what was the quarterback's name? Green has a tendency to turn the ball over, which is great. But every 3rd down, he would drop back in coverage. And it was frustrating to me. I'm watching the game, I'm like, all right, we're going to get off the field. He's fixing to bring the house on 3rd down, which is every time he did that, Green made a mistake. But on 3rd down, when they needed to pressure the quarterback, he would not blitz the quarterback. I'm like, why are you blitzing on 1st and 2nd down if you're not going to do it on 3rd and long? I don't understand. Maybe he was scared that he would get beat over the top. I don't know. I think Auburn's got something like 17 turnovers through 4 games, which is absolutely ridiculous. And, there's been a lot of talk about people, Hugh Freeze bashing the players, but really he's not bashing the players when he says that the plays are there, there's guys running around wide open, I just need to find somebody that won't give the ball to the other team. And he wasn't just talking about quarterbacks. There's been 4 or 5 fumbles on the season already by the running backs. There was a fumble in the New Mexico game in the rain by Jacquez Hunter. I think Jacquez Hunter had another fumble earlier against, maybe it was Alabama A&M. We know Damari Austin has fumbled the ball. But I gotta say, it is abnormal to have this many turnovers, whether it be fumble or interception. So what is it? And that's kind of the purpose of this video. What is going on with Auburn and all the turnovers? My theory is that maybe, just maybe, and not on the running backs, because a fumble is a fumble, that Freeze has overcomplicated the offense as far as between quarterbacks and receivers. So I think that the receivers are thinking too much, which is throwing off timing. I think the quarterbacks are given too much to think about on the line of scrimmage with the RPO game. I don't know what it is, but the timing is off. And I don't want to hear it. We heard about it all last year. Peyton Thorne and the receivers weren't on the same page, so we're going to go out, we're going to get all these receivers. And Keandre Lambert-Smith has absolutely been an absolutely electric player. That kid is electric. But there hasn't been a lot of production. Fairweather is doing his thing. But there hasn't been a lot of production from anybody else. And, where's the Perry Thompson? Where's Cam Coleman? I do think Cam Coleman is playing injured. I do think he's playing injured. So if he is playing injured and he's not able to fully extend to catch these balls out in front of him, just don't play him right now. Just don't play him. Let him heal up. But if you go on the road last year and you beat Cal all the way in Berkeley, albeit it was an ugly game, but you got the win, and you go on the road last year and you beat Arkansas, then why are you losing to them at home the next year? I don't get it, and somebody's going to have to explain it to me. Now, this Saturday, Auburn's going up against Oklahoma. And I just saw this crazy thing where it came out and said Auburn's actually a favorite against Oklahoma. Now, I guess they could be saying that, look, if Auburn takes away all those turnovers, they clearly sail past Cal. They clearly sail past Arkansas. But you can't really do that, because there's nothing convincing me that Auburn is going up against one of the best defenses in the country in Oklahoma through 4 or 5 games of the year anyway, this Saturday, and that all of a sudden they're not going to turn the ball over against a very opportunistic secondary for the Oklahoma Sooners. There's going to be a lot of pressure in the faces of Peyton Thorne and or Hank Brown, whoever Hugh Freeze tries to throw out there at quarterback. I think if Auburn keeps the ball on the ground, give it to your workhorse, give it to the proven player. If you want to keep throwing hook routes or slant routes to Keandre Lambert-Smith, that's fine. That's been working. If you want to throw some passes over to Rivaldo Fairweather, that's fine. That's been working. You want to throw out of the backfield to your check down and Jacquez Hunter. That's fine. That's been working. But I really think that Jacquez Hunter has to touch the football 25 times in order for Auburn to win this football game. I just really do. And also, I would like to say that, albeit those losses against Cal and Arkansas are bad losses, there's no doubt about it. When you're a better team, and this is not a knock against Arkansas, this is not a knock against Cal, but Auburn is a more talented team than those two teams. But you lost anyway. There's no moral victories here, I understand that. But they're bad losses. And if you could somehow find a way to beat Oklahoma, you can salvage the season and maybe, just maybe, hold on to this recruiting class that you're trying to build. Because that's another thing not a lot of people are talking about. Is Hugh Freeze going to be able to hold this recruiting class together? Is he going to be able to hold these players together in today's college football, which I cannot stand the way college football is done today with transfer out. Go ahead and go if you want to. How much money do you want to come here and play? I can't stand it. It drives me bananas. But there's nothing I can do about it, right? You know, you have to recruit, and then you have to recruit your own players at the end of every year. I am in the mindset that if you don't want to play for this brand, for the love of this school, then go. Just go. And people may have a hot take on that, but that's my take on it. If you don't want to play for Auburn University, don't waste my time. And I think we're seeing that across the board in college football. It's obvious. College football has changed. I mean, it has changed. The product on the field has changed. You have these teams like Florida State. How can you go from being that good one year to being this bad the next year? Transfer portals. You're bringing in a bunch of players that don't care about that spear or that garnet and gold. They just don't care. Texas A&M under Jimbo Fisher, highest rated recruiting class of all time. What was it, 2 years ago? Couldn't win 6 football games. This pay for play, I know that things have a way of tending to work itself out, but you're getting really ugly football. I mean, it's not good looking football. There's no unity. There's no team. These teams haven't been together for 2 or 3 years, with the exception of like Georgia and Texas. Those teams look really good. Why? Because they have some transfers on the team, but people want to be there because they want to win the championship. You can't have that at every school. Not every school is going to be proud to win a championship every year. So what do you do? What do you do? Are we done with the age of the dynasties? I don't know. I don't know. But that's my rant. You folks let me know in the comments below what you think the problem is at Auburn right now. Is it Hugh Freeze? Is it the quarterbacks? Is the offense too complicated, from pre-snap reads to receivers thinking about what they need to do once they get on the route based on the RPO game? Let me know. Is it just a bad run of luck and turnovers have a tendency of taking care of themselves? That I also don't know that either. But there's no way Auburn's going to sustain turning the ball over 5 times a game. That's got to clear itself up. So that brings me to my last segment of this video, which is prediction time. And I'm going to be a little bit of a homer on this one. I just believe, and it's not a tangible thing. It just really isn't a tangible thing. But it's the wounded animal mode, and I really believe that Auburn finds a way to get this win against Oklahoma. I just do. I think that the product that we've seen on the field this year, if you go back and look, these plays are open. I think we find a way to make these plays. I think it's a low-scoring game. I think it's a fast-moving and a fast-paced game, because I think that both teams are going to try to keep the ball on the ground during this game. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of incomplete passing, which stops the clock. I think the game's going to move at a pretty fast pace. But I just think that Auburn, who does rush the ball for 190 yards a game, finds a way against Oklahoma's defensive line to get just enough and gets an opportunistic score to eke this one out. My prediction is Auburn 17, Oklahoma 10. It's Brent from BC Doves. We'll see you on the next one.